Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dream of Crafts. My name's Deanna. Today we'll be working on week number 47 of my 52 weeks of Christmas. We're going to be doing this little frame that flips closed, and it actually will fit inside of an envelope, so you can mail it out to somebody if you like. And what it does is this bottom part flips like this, and then it has its own stand also. So it just closes up nice and flat, and this is magnetic little lift here so that you can change out the picture or leave the same picture in if you want. That way if they want to put it away after the season, they can fold it up flat and change out the picture the next year if they would like to. You do not have to do this for Christmas. You can decorate this for everyday use as well. So I'm going to set that back up. It's going to help me when I have to put on my hinges. So what I've started with is I've cut 2 pieces of chipboard, and you should be able to get, I believe, all of this out of one 12 by 12 piece of chipboard. I used scraps. I always have a lot of scraps. I do mini albums and stuff, so I always have a lot of scraps in my chipboard, so I'm trying to utilize those in different ways so they're not going to waste. So I have cut 2 pieces of chipboard. They are 6 5/8 by 4 5/8 wide. So 6 5/8 high by 4 5/8 high. 2 of those. The first one I have cut my decorative cardstock. I'm going to be using Graphic 45. And it's a Christmas Carol, so it's an older one. I wish they would come back out with this. I have quite a few sheets of each of these 2 ones. So this one is Bah Humbug 4501189. My second one is Good Cheer 4501191. And I've used a sheet of each of those, maybe a little bit more. But I've cut 1 piece to go over top of my top chipboard piece and cut it the exact same size. And then I have gone in, and I'm going to bring my old Cricut mat in here. And when I measure, I use this one so I can see through. So I wanted to come in a 1/2 inch from each edge. So I lined up, and then I took my pencil and marked, and I made sure I stayed at a 1/2 inch. So I have my 1/2 inch here. So I went up 1/2 inch. And then this one's just a little bit longer than a 1/2 inch. So I went back up so I was equal to a 1/2 inch there. And then I did that to both sides, and then to the bottom and the top. Again, I can line this ruler right up at a 1/2 inch. Then I just connected my 2 points. Now I have pre-cut a couple of the sides here just to make it a little quicker for us. So when I cut, I use a ruler with a metal edge so I don't destroy my plastic ruler. And let's see here. I think it's this side here that we've just got to do. I use a Scotch blade here. And we're just going to go in and cut that just like that. And I'm just going to continue to go through. And I always save my Cricut mats when they're not sticky no more and they don't clean up good. Then I save them for doing this kind of thing to them. So let's see. All right. How far are we? There we go. So we have a frame here. This piece I'm just going to set aside. I'll use it for another project at another time. So now I'm going to take one of my hinges, and these are cut the same width, so they're 4 5/8 wide. And I'm going to, this is a 1 inch strip, and I've scored it at a 1/2 inch. I did 2 of those, and then I did another hinge, and I will give you the dimensions to that when we come to that one. All right. So this is my top of my frame. So I'm going to, actually, let me lay this down like this and I can do that like that. Now, if it hangs over a little bit, that's fine. I'm going to trim it off. So I'm going to put it on there, but I want to save my score line. I don't want to go over my score line there. And as you can see, it's just a little bit longer. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this now. I don't need this. All right. So then our next piece, I've got, which is the back side of this one. See, it's just the reverse. Oops, you can't see it. It's the reverse, see, like that. So, oh, I had it right in my hand. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a long day. And I have pre-inked all of these with my Black Soot Ranger ink. So let's go ahead and, wait a minute. I think I got to put my hinge on first. So let me, no, that's going to go over the back edge. So I'm good. Okay. I'm going to double check. I don't want to glue it together wrong because it's going to throw everything off if I do. So, and I have only made one of these. And so I didn't want, I don't mind making a couple more, but I don't want to screw this one up if I can prevent it. So we're going to go a little slower at this and double check everything. All right. There we go. So now this will sit on top of there like that. So if there's nothing in there, you will see that. So it's still decorated. I'm going to trim this hinge off here. Now that that's drier. There we go. Perfect. Now I want to line these up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this over top of that so that I know that it's going to fit there good. All right. So actually I'm going to give that a little pressure there. Okay, now we're going to put our glue on this side. There we go. Line these back up, match them, and then fold that edge over just like that. Whoops, I'm not in the way. I'm sorry about that. There we go. Now my next piece, I have to put this piece on. So I'm going to do this side to the back of that. So here's the front of my frame. Here's the back. So I'm going to glue this one to the back. And this is the same size again. I think my glue is getting blocked up in there just a little bit. Probably about time to take my tip apart and clean it. So we're going to put that right over top of there like that. Make sure everything's lined up. That way it covers up that hinge on the back. And a lot of this isn't going to be as visible, but we want it to look nice and finished. So now we've got our frame, and while that is setting up, I'm going to grab 2 magnets. And if I can get them off of there, goodness gracious. They're stuck right on there pretty good. All right, that's 3. I only need 2. And I want a clip here. So these are really tiny magnets. I get these ones from eBay. So they are, I can actually tell you, I think they're about 1/8 of an inch. Actually 3/16 of an inch. So I'm going to put some glitter glue on there. And we're not going to cover the back of this. So I'm just going to put another dot right there. And then we're going to close this like that. And I'm going to take this little clip here and I'm going to clip that to hold that together while that sets up and dries. And we're going to let that sit there then. And we're going to get our other pieces prepped here a little bit. So now our next piece is going to be the piece that is the bottom here. So this piece measures 5 3/8 high by 4 5/8 wide. Let me just make sure. Yes. So then I've cut 2 pieces of decorative cardstock to go with that. This is going to be my top part here. So we can go ahead. I've got to look to make sure. So my top part can get glued on. This is the part that's going to flip backwards when it's closed. So by this one, I can see that my hinge is on the back part there. So we're good. It's really actually quite simple. My first one I just kind of designed with paper and just to get an idea before I started cutting my chipboard. And then I thought, okay, I can make it in chipboard, which would be sturdy. First try, if you can see on the back here, I had to tear it apart because it did not work. So just kind of a trial and error thing. I haven't seen one like this. So this is I've seen the flip up cards, but I personally haven't seen anything like this. Not to say it's not out there. I just personally have not seen it. So if you know of somebody that's done something like that, then you can let me know. But I personally have not seen it done yet. So now we need another. This one's going to get a wider hinge. Now this hinge is about 2 inches. So I went in and I scored it at, what do we got there? I scored it at 7/8 and at 1 inch to create just a little gusset. And what that's going to allow, it's going to allow that to flip back and forth without any compromise. So we are going to attach this and we're going to stop at our first score line here. And it doesn't matter which way you have it facing. It does not matter. But I wanted it a little bit bigger because I wanted it to have a little extra structure behind it. So that's why I made it a little bit bigger. So we're just going to sit this down there. Again, we're not going to go over that score line. We're going to go right up to it. There we go. Oh, and I just did it the wrong way. It's supposed to be on the back here. Goodness gracious. See? Right away. I think I've got it and I goof it up. All right. That won't hurt nothing. Okay, so the back part. And we're going to make sure we have our direction right. So our direction's like this. Our hinge needs to be this way. So we're going to try again. We're going to bring our hinge down, not touch the score line. There we go. Just like that. All right. Okay, that hangs over just a tiny bit. So I'm just going to come in and just trim it just to neaten it up a little bit. Okay. All right. Let's see how we're doing here. I think we're going to take this off of there. And let me see. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I'm just going to leave this. Now this part comes, and it does not. Okay. Good thing I'm thinking. We need our stand. Now our stand for this is going to be this part here. right here, this part here, and that is 2 pieces. My other piece is right here. Okay. So the stand part is 6 1/4 inches high by 4 inches wide, and then we're going to cut 1 inch off of that. So this piece will be 5 1/4 high by 4 inches wide, and then we'll have our other piece, which is 1 inch wide, or 1 inch high by 4 inches wide. Okay, so this is going to get glued to the back of the frame. This gets glued to this. So I've already pre-glued to the part that's going to get glued right to the frame. Let me trim that off. And then I've got to keep looking at this as I figure this out. Okay, so now this gets glued right to there. Okay, so we're going to take our glue, like so. And this is just another 1 inch wide, scored at 1/2 inch. We're going to bring this up and we're going to leave a little gap in between there, probably about 1/16 inch. So that, now if you want to make sure, you can lift this and butt that up against it if you want. Want just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just like that. Now, this piece is going to get glued to here, like this. Right. Make sure I got it going the right way. Yeah, like this. And I think I've got it too far out. Let me glue that just a little bit closer to that other one there. I've got too much. So you want to go under 1/16 inch. There we go. Let's try again here. Because this paper actually, or this hinge actually helps hold it into place. So just a tiny, tiny difference. All right. There we go. So yeah, there we go. That's gonna, and then see how that doesn't let that bend all the way? It's stopping it. Okay. So now this gets glued to the back of this, like so. We're going to line that up to the bottom, and then we'll glue this down to the back of that. But first, we're going to flip this over, and we're going to put our decorative cardstock here. Now I'm going to go with this. Like I said, a lot of this is not going to be that visible, but we're going to cover it just because. And we don't need to cover our 1 inch half on the back there, because that is not seen. It's glued right down to the other thing there. So, all right. So let's go ahead and glue this down. And this is the underside of our frame stand. Okay. We're going to flip this over. It's easier to do it now rather than it will be once we get it on. And then this piece is going to go on here so that it coordinates with that. So let's go ahead. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to cover any of the back if you don't want to. This is totally up to you. You do not have to cover all the back. If you don't have a lot of paper or don't want to do that, you do not have to. This one is just for my personal use right now, so I'm just gonna do it up here. Now, when I cut this, I made sure I kept the pieces that directly connected to each other. You can see the man and the woman there, and these have also been already just inked on the edges with the distress ink. So just like that. Perfect. All right. Let me keep this covered. All right. So this is the last piece. That goes to the bottom of my other one when we're all done. So this is going to get connected to this, but we still have to connect our flip. So now this is going to flip like that. Okay. So it needs to be connected to the back here like that. Just let me make sure here. So on this one, this is our frame. That's connected like this. This gets connected. Oops, you know what? I was supposed to wait. Yeah, this is supposed to get connected under there. I don't know if I can peel that up still. If not, we will. Well, maybe I might make it. Let me see. Might have got lucky here. There we go. Just far enough so I can get this glued down on there. There we go. So now you're going to have a hangover here and a hangover here. And we'll just trim those off when we're done. So this is going to flip back like that. Okay. And then, okay, so here we go. This is the front like this. So this has to go like that, because this will flip backwards like this and forward like that. So this is the part that's the front. So I need this to be facing this way. And then we're going to glue this like that. All right. So I'm going to get some glue in here again. And I'm going to go way up in there because I know I have to glue that other piece back down there. All right. So I'm going to bring this in and line that up. And I'm going to lower this because I can see my edge there. I'm going to come right up to my score line. And I want to make sure that that's going to line up like that. It looks about even. Okay. Let me see here. Like so. I want that to be centered. Okay. Like that, I think. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this to there. So let's go ahead. This has to be glued down to the bottom there. So if we have that flip like that, we can see it. So we're going to put our glue on there. Okay. Okay. So now I got this flip backwards, the way it's going to sit when it's in the envelope. I'm going to line these back up just like that. Line up my edges and my bottom. And then I can press this down. like that. Okay. I can lift this up and put my glue on here, just like that. Okay. Let that to sit up and dry. Sorry about that confusion on that. I start thinking, it's like, oh, okay. I know exactly how it's got to go. But I wanted those hinges to be covered, so that's why I'm kind of being weird like that. So now this will close and fold up just like that to be fit in your envelope. But we just still have one more section to go. So here, like we open it just like that. It'll stand up. So let's go ahead and turn this over. And now we can put this piece on here. Okay, I think we're going to go with that one there. That's what I planned, I believe. And again, remember you've got your gusset there for that hinge, so that will not be covered. I pre-cut out, or I didn't cut out, prepped some of the stickers from the sticker sheet that I had. And then we're going to bring this down to the bottom here because we don't want to cover that score line. There we go. I'll lift this up just a little bit so I can not put any pressure on that hinge that I don't need to. All right. So now we can see better where we have to cut. So I'm going to come in, leave my hinge there. So we're going to come in just like that. And then we're going to snip that off there, just like that. And we can get that little part of that hinge off. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Come down. There we go. And we can come up to there like that. There we go. You can make this hinge the same width if you want. Like I said, I was using up some of my scraps, so that's what I ended up with. And I kind of like that it's not as wide. Okay, so here it is closed. There's your gusset. Don't have to worry about that right there. See? So here's your frame. When they get it, they're going to just take this, flip this up, and then this will stand on its own, just like that. And it will only go so far. So, all right. So this is what we got right now. Okay. So I'm going to stand it up like that a second. There you can see that. So I have, like I said, taken some of my stickers from the sticker sheet. And it looks like one of these here. This is a full one, but this is one of the sticker sheets. And I've pre-selected some of the things that I want to use. Some of them I backed on black cardstock here. And some of them I didn't. This here is just a little cutout of the dancing couple on this paper here. And I've just cut them out and backed them on black cardstock. So let's go ahead and sit this down a minute and we'll get these things on here. This is just it's a Christmas Carol sticker, and it's actually a double sticker there. I just got this part. So I'm going to put some glue right down here. You can use tape if you want. I'm kind of a glue person. Oops. Kind of a messy glue person. And then I want to center this right in here, just like that. All right. Okay. I'm going to open that so I don't have the thickness of all that magnet there. There we go. And that little magnet is plenty to hold that because there's nothing in between it. I have this little tag here that says, "Here we come a caroling," and I've bumped these up with some small foam squares here, and I've got this ready for this corner down here. I'm just going to add a little bit of extra glue just to, so I'm going to put that right in there like so. And I have this one we're going to do last. I've got these two I wanted to put here. I might bump them up on some pop dots too. Let me see here. Yeah, I think just mostly on her, it looks like. Maybe do three on her. Right there on him. There we go. Push them down there. And I'm going to try to kind of keep these flat. Now, if you're doing it for yourself, you can, you know, add as much as you want to these. But if you're going to mail it, then try to keep it flat because they will, your cost will go up if it doesn't lay very flat in there. Like I said, this one's for myself, so I am fine with that. Now I have chosen this sticker sheet here. Oh, let's see, where is it at on here? Oh, it's right here. The joy part, I've cut that down and I'm going to add that right to my bottom here. Just like that. It's not bumped up or nothing. I also cut out just part of the God bless us everyone and Merry Christmas. And I'm going to line that right up on top of that. Eyeball it like that. This is the tag that was in here. I've just added a little gem and also backed that on some black cardstock. And then if I stand this up, you can see. That way you can write something on there if you want. I think we'll just, I'm not going to bump that up. I'm just going to leave it flat, but let's go ahead and glue that down. All right. Just like that. That way if you want to write something on there, you can, or they can, whatever you would like. Okay. So let's lay this back down again. I have Merry Christmas. It's like the stamp part of the set. And I bumped that up on these little square foams here. Sometimes I use just my extra cardstock. Or not my extra cardstock, my chipboard. It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in, I guess. But a lot of times I'll use up my little pieces of chipboard and glue those together. That way, I like to find different ways to use it up. All right. So we've got that there. And then I have a 2 and a 5. And those are also popped up. So that's the 5 here. I'm not going to push it real hard yet until I get this one on there. There we go. There we go. 2-5 for 25 for the 25th of Christmas. All right. And this one I had, but I don't think I'm going to use it. And I think that is it. So there we go. And then we can slide a picture in there. Let me see here. Oh, what kind of picture do we got? There we go. We can just lift this up And slide a picture under there, just like that. And there. I'm going to sit it down so you can see the front there like that. So that's what, get a nice picture in there. Standard photo, you don't have to cut it down. Now, if you're worried about this slide in, it's only going to go so far, but if you are worried about slide, you could put a little stop in there, but I think it's going to be fine. So again, this flips back, and it's a nice flat for storage. There we go. I want to take a minute to thank you for joining me, and give a thanks to all of my subscribers. And if you have not subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Just go below this video and hit the subscribe button. There should also be a bell that will pop up. If you hit that bell, you'll be notified each time I put up a new video. I'm just going to add my little graphic 45 from the top of the paper that I've cut off. I usually try to do something like this to remember where I got the paper from. So this just says graphic 45. And then this piece just says Christmas cheer, and that's also from the top of the paper. And I've just put the little black ink on there. There. So it just says graphic 45 Christmas Carol. So there we go. And until the next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.